Good morning to all of you. Welcome to Legal Matters by Sai Babu Sankara. This is a case relating to GST, Goods and Services Tax. Whether the tax can be levied on parathas, just like the so-called rotis. Normally, roti, a plain chapati, the GST is 5%, whereas on parathas, the GST is 18%. So the company requests, since the paratha and also the so-called plain chapati or roti contain the same wheat flour, it may be levied GST of 5%. So this is the dispute. Please remember, the appellate authority for advance ruling AAAR, triple AR, not triple R, triple AR. So in case of Mrs. Vadilal Industries, which are very famous for in Gujarat making the parathas or chapatis, very popular company. So it has not allowed. The authority clearly stated that there is a lot of difference between paratha and the so-called plain roti. This is the crux of the case. Now we'll go to the facts. So this triple AR for advance ruling, it has got two members bench, Vivek Ranjan and Milind Thorawane. They observed in the case of Messrs. Vadilal Industries Private Limited, Ahmedabad, on 15/9/2022 that the parothas are different from the plain chapati or roti, and they cannot be categorized on the cadre of the so-called roti. So definitely the appropriate classification of the so-called Vadilal Industries in chapati is under a heading, chapter heading 2016. Actually, they wanted to make it under chapter heading 1905, which is relating to roti. So 18% GST accepted. Right. Now, Vadilal company, it is very famous for production of the so-called 8 varieties of parathas, like Malabar parotha, mixed vegetable parotha, onion parotha, different types like that. 8 types of parathas they will prepare. And you know, the main ingredients are definitely wheat flour, number 1. Number 2, other ingredients like aloo parotha, very famous, onion parotha, then menti parotha. So all these ingredients, they are involved in this parotha. So you may be knowing this parotha, the so-called aloo milchi or mixed vegetable, they will be kept in between the layers, pressed, and it will be supplied. You have to go home, then heat it for a couple of minutes. Actually, the parotha has to be flipped once in 20 or 30 seconds or whatever it is, 3 or 4 minutes heating is enough. Then you can ready. It is a ready to eat food. Just like chapati also like that, but of course it doesn't contain the so-called onion or things like that. Right, now the Gujarat triple AR ruling, definitely they said that GST should be levied at the rate of 18%. Why? Because it actually, the appellant, that is Vadilal, claimed that this can be classified only under 1905, because even chapatis or rotis or the so-called parathas, they need 3 to 4 minutes for cooking. And in GST tariff, it has not been mentioned that 1905 covers the so-called ready-to-eat chapatis. Both of them are ready-to-eat foods. So please, and they place reliance on the pizza base also. Pizza, yes, it is having only 5% GST. So therefore, they wanted to get the reduction from 18 to 5%. But the advance ruling, the authority noted that various types of parathas have common ingredient like wheat flour, water, edible oil, salt, antioxidants, potato, vegetables, methi, onion, etc. Please remember, on the basis of ingredients, the composition of both is different from each other. No doubt, process of heating 3 to 4 minutes is okay, but please remember the other contents. They are totally different. You cannot equate a plain chapati with a parotha. No doubt, 1905 says ready to eat food require ready to eat foods, but please remember it clearly says doesn't require any process before eating. Straight away you can eat. So this is the main problem. So here authority has clearly stated the users are not the determinate authority to, it depends on facts and so many other. But ultimately, to conclude, the authority clearly said that parathas are very different from plain chapatis or rotis, and they have to be categorized separately. Therefore, 18% GST allowed. So this is a very good issue. Whenever you think about the jurisprudence class, definitely we have to take it into the so-called interpretation. What type of interpretation? It is harmonious or grammatical or literal. This is a beneficial legislation, beneficial interpretation. Whatever it is, in this class we have come to know that parathas are different from plain chapati. If you know this much, it's sufficient. Thank you.